Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
We are back on another episode of Handle with Scare. Ooh, I got a hiccup. Here on Handle with Scare. See, now I'm fucking up my own intro. Here on Handle with Scare, two ghoul friends, me and Anna, also known as Carl's Jr. Tattoo, talk about all things terror and titillation. As always, if you want to hear something in particular or hot take on a certain topic, feel free to let us know by sending us a DM, email. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, you know, all the good fun stuff.
If you don't have any friends, share with your dog or your cat.
Yeah, because honestly,
lizard,
I think we're
rabbit,
pretty fucking
turtle.
funny, but whatever. So, before we get into our topic of today, let's start off with everybody's favorite little segment, Dumb Tattoo of the week. You were a little early with the air horn, but I love it. All right, so this tattoo of the week is on my leg.
On Heather's leg.
Courtesy of Kelsey Diane, who you can book with at pushtattoos.com.
Yeah.
And here we have my favorite thing that I be drinking all the time, the dumb idiot juice.
Hell yeah.
This came to be, I don't even know why. It was just like something that she drew, and I was like, damn, I really do be drinking the dumb idiot juice.
Yeah.
It happened to come after we had celebrated my birthday, by going to an emo night on a boat. And
we did that.
Everybody left, but I was having a really good time, and I was a little...
it wasn't everybody's fault that everybody had to leave.
No, we're not saying that, but everybody left, and I was having a very good time, and I was sipping on some dumb idiot juice. Dumb idiot juice. So I stayed, and I was like, no, y'all go home. Like, I can just take a lift home. It's totally fine.
Yeah, definitely. We were sipping on the juice.
I was sipping on a lot of juice. Needless to say, I managed to walk home at 3 a.m. drunk by myself. Don't know how that happened. Don't know how I got home. I don't know.
Would that have happened had I have been there at the time? No.
I mean, I woke up in my bed, so like we're cool.
Woke up in her bed. She's here, y'all.
We're chilling. So, in honorary memory of me being a dumb idiot, my dumb idiot juice. As always, if you want a dumb tattoo of your own or a really good tattoo, feel free to book with anybody at pushtattoos.com by going to their website at pushtattoos.com. That sounded redundant, but I'm still saying it.
It's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You know what's more disturbing than tattoos?
What's more disturbing?
Films.
Some films?
Some films.
Some films.
What's the most disturbing movie you've ever seen?
A Serbian film.
Is it though?
Honestly, no. There's actually one that I consider way more disturbing in terms of overall concept, but nobody else agrees with me on it.
What is it?
Dead Girl.
Well, here's the reason why I don't think that. Because it's just like most people aren't out here doing that shit.
But most people aren't out here doing the shit that's in a Serbian film either.
Well, you know what? I could see it happening sooner than this. Sorry.
Than Dead Girl?
Yeah.
I think ignoring the supernatural aspect of this movie, content warning just like really quickly before I get into this, and trigger warnings if you are uncomfortable with
necrophilia.
I mean, yeah, obviously necrophilia, but like abuse towards women and things like that.
Oh yeah, this episode's
skip-
like not for you. if
Yeah,
you don't-
skip past this.
skip the whole episode if you're just not into shit.
Yeah, so obviously I'm gonna ruin this movie. I don't really care. Some like high school kids break into an abandoned mental asylum, and for some reason they find this dead but not actually dead naked woman just tied to a bed. And they think she's dead, but she doesn't look dead. A lot of weird stuff, but they basically decide instead of being like, wow, we should help this
We should
woman,
call the police. Yeah,
they're like, well, we're gonna keep her here and just have sex with her and abuse
like a lot.
her.
Yeah.
So this is probably the worst movie that I've actually ever seen when it comes to terms of like disturbing, because in my mind, like, ignoring the fact that she's like dead, shit like this happens all the time in real life.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying to me. That is the most disturbing, because I can actively say that I have met people and seen people that if they were in this situation would do this exact same thing and take this opportunity. That's why I find this the most disturbing.
I will respect that opinion.
What's the most disturbing movie you've ever
Last
seen,
House on the
Anna?
Left.
Really?
Yeah, because that happens all the time.
That also does happen all the time.
That and I Spit on Your Grave are equally terrifying to me, because they are done in such a way that is so relentless. Not the new versions of either. Well, the new versions of either of them are more satisfying at the end, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But-
We've talked about that in a previous
Yeah.
episode. If you haven't watched any of our previous episodes, go check out the episode Good for Her,
Yeah.
and we will we dive a little bit more into that aspect.
The Last House on the Left and I Spit on Your Grave of the 70s, where they didn't give a fuck, were way worse for the victim in that movie than the newer ones where they kind of calmed it down. So those are most disturbing to me. Also, weird, the main guy is the same.
That is weird.
Which,
you're right.
That sucks, bro. Why did you choose that? Roll twice.
What's funny though is I feel like when people think disturbing movies, those ones get like bypassed a lot. Like people don't think they're that disturbing, which, you know, when you're bringing up your point, why do those never get?
Well, those are because I think it's because it's stories that you hear every day. But that's why I don't. That's why.
Which, it makes it even more disturbing.
That's the desensitized people that we have, because people like want to go and think balls to the wall a Serbian film and think like Cannibal Holocaust. Cannibal Holocaust is one of my favorite movies, but I know for a fact that I'm not going to go out into fucking some random jungle and ruin some people's lives and then get murdered. I'm not going to do that.
Fair.
So I'm not disturbed by that. It's just, honestly, I'm more upset about the animal cruelty.
Yeah.
But like, I think balls to the wall doesn't work for me. I think the more realistic it is, movies like Eden Lake.
Yeah.
Happiness with the oh my god, that guy is so creepy to me. The one
Happiness is a good one. If you haven't seen Happiness, check it out.
The like Ken Park, like I think it's not Larry Clark, it's Harmony Korine, like movies like Kids, Bully.
Yeah.
Those are all way more disturbing to me. Like real life situations are way more, especially Ken Park, more disturbing to me than any of.
Ken Park is a really hard one to watch.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
I feel like there are a lot of those movies too. They're ones that like I've watched once and I can comfortably say I will never watch again.
Yeah, like why would you?
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. But I feel like too is that like, does that show how uncomfortable we are with the fact that like as a whole society is really desensitized to this shit? Because I feel like an average person, when you're talking about disturbing movies, they go for your typical ones, like that meme that's going on, like there's a meme where people talk about it all the time, and it's the iceberg.
Yeah.
It's the tip of the iceberg, and they've got like the random movies, and then as it keeps going down, it's like the more like fucked up movies that are out there, and people are like, can't believe you've seen all these. Well, the movies we're talking about are very rarely on that list.
I've been watching and went since I was very young a guy on YouTube called Horrible Reviews. Are you familiar?
No.
He's I think he's Dutch. I'm not sure exactly where he's from, but he's got an accent, and I think that he said he was Dutch. I can't remember. But he has like the top 100 most disturbing movies. I watched them all, and like I was like really into that at one point. And I think as I've gotten older, had closer friendships and known more different kinds of people, it's not as easy to watch some of these movies as it once was. But it was when I was younger and didn't know fucking anything, easier to watch them. But recently he put out another part, like more parts of his list, and he's got Midsummer on there and like stuff that I just like. The more far out the scenario is, the more I'm just like, it's a lot interesting but not disturbing.
It's a lot easier to detach yourself from something that seems so like crazy out of whack.
Like fucking so a lot of the ones that will come up on the list are like the Japanese, like extreme, like
The Audition.
Audition.
I love Audition.
Audition is a great movie, but I don't find it disturbing.
But a lot of people definitely did. And I think the reason why, and this is going to be a hot take for some people, but I think the reason why people find it so disturbing is because it's the woman doing the torture.
Of course. And then you've got things like Itchy the Killer, which is just gory.
Right.
Or you've got Tetsuo, the Iron, I think it's called the Iron Man. I think he's
I can't think of
the guinea pig, the guinea pig series.
The guinea pig series is
Visitor Q, all of those like Japanese ones. Old Boy is always on there.
Love
Old Boy actually is pretty fucked up.
It is, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I love the Old Boy series, and I never once thought of it as like a super like I'm too disturbed to watch it.
No,
but it was definitely
crazy.
one of those movies that I was like, damn, this is like some fucked up crazy shit.
It's wild. But all of those are kind of so out there that I just am not disturbed. I just think they're really good movies.
Right.
You know, the guinea pig ones, like, I guess I think that they're like kind of like stupid. Like, it's just like, all right, let's go as far as we can. August Underground, on going back to the United States.
I was gonna say, yeah,
really fucking like stupid. Probably does happen.
Probably.
But so like you're just like, dude, come on, like really?
Yeah.
The slaughter vomit dolls and all that like shit. Like I had to watch all that. The bunny game.
That was
all of that is so like wild. They were just like, you know what? We're gonna put everything in this movie. We're gonna fucking do it. And I'm just like, all right.
I also feel like to an extent when people are trying to make the most disturbing movie possible.
Yeah.
You know, they're picking things where back when this trend, I feel like this trend's definitely probably always been around.
Yeah.
But I feel like years ago, it was definitely like a thing where people were just trying to make the most fucked up movies possible that were bordering on snuff films.
Yeah.
And you saw that rise, and you saw these things that kind of kept popping up, and they were like, we're just going to go like really out of fucking pocket.
Yeah.
And that's when you saw like these kind of movies start rising up a little bit more. And it was like a challenge between your friends. It was like,
it was
I'm gonna
like,
go watch this like super fucked
you know what
up
it's
movie
like?
and
You know what it's like?
vomit.
It's like when you it's like when you were like a kid and you learn curse words and you'd be like, fuck, piss, ass, butt.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then, like it wasn't effective, but it was like funny to you.
And like
or,
you
like,
thought
crazy.
that you were hot shit because you did it. Because you did it.
Yeah. Now what's weird is like there's movies, the movies like without blood are the scariest, like, or without a lot are the scariest. Like, we need to talk about Kevin.
We need to talk about Kevin. I actually can't sit through. I've watched that movie maybe once, and I've tried to watch it again, and I haven't been able to sit through it. It makes me so uncomfortable, and I feel like the reason why it makes me so uncomfortable is because now it's something that became commonplace in society, and that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's horrifying to think about. Shout out to the acting in that movie though.
Shout out to Tilda Swinton, John C. Reilly, and is it Ezra Miller?
Yeah, it's Ezra Miller.
Yeah. Great acting in that movie. Dogtooth.
Dogtooth is another definitely a good one.
Yeah, like barely any funny games.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, there's 2 versions. They're both pretty.
Yeah, they're both pretty rough.
But you know what? Honestly, the movie, I think that you've got the movies that disturb you the most, but the movies that scares me the most, I know it's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. It's The Purge.
You know what? I'm not even gonna tell you that that's stupid.
So dumb.
It's stupid.
It's so stupid.
Damn. I really said I wasn't gonna call you stupid.
I think it could happen.
Popped out of nowhere.
I think it could happen.
Dumb as fuck. I feel like I loved the concept of that movie when it first came out. I did. I liked the concept.
The first one was fun.
The reason why I liked it is because I was like, oh, I could definitely see this fucking happening. And then as we kept going, like years went by, the second one came out. I loved the second one because what I found, this is a little off topic, but it's okay. When I watched the first Purge movie, the end of the first Purge movie, when I was like sitting there like thinking about what I watched, I was like, wow, I really liked that. I want to see what would have happened in the rest of the city though. Like, why am I looking at just this one rich family? Like, I don't really give a shit about that, because at the end of the day, I'm not a rich family.
Yeah.
How would an average person like me, or even somebody that is worse off than I am, how are we going to survive in this situation? That's what I want to know, because I find like that would have been scarier to me, because I can't relate to a fucking like super rich family. So that fear wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
Then the second one came out and gave me exactly what I wanted, and I was like,
Well, I'm going to give you a really sad, deep reason why I'm afraid of The Purge.
Hit me.
I am the kind of person that holds a lot of guilt. Anytime I break up with somebody, anytime that I have to break a friendship off, hold a lot of guilt, but it also has gone super fucking poorly every single time. And I've encountered a lot of people who take it very, very bad. I know I'm getting murdered by somebody, and I could probably name 5 people who it would be, and that's it.
I don't think that's like us. I feel like a lot of people, when that movie came out, like felt like that. They were like, damn, like if I was put in this situation, like I can think of people that would want to do me harm. For whatever their reason may be. I mean, it doesn't have to be as serious as like
And I Live Alone.
Like that guy, you know, he had that very serious reason as why he was going out in the second movie, like his son and everything. Like I get that, but let's think about how people are in this day and age, and that's not even discluding me. Like I definitely can hold some things a little too close to the neck that like I probably shouldn't. Like I've definitely been mad at people for things, and I've held on to it for years that I shouldn't have had to. I mean, there's certain things that like I've learned to just be mad about it, and then as I get older, like it's whatever. But
yeah,
I mean, I definitely had that feeling where I was like, fuck, if this happened, like someone's gonna come after me.
Oh yeah, and that's what freaks me out. That movie and
fuck the third and whatever this new one is.
I mean, that
first 2 were good though.
That whole concept bugs me out. It's also the first movie that I saw when I decided to go back to movie theaters after the Batman thing happened. I didn't go to the movies for a long time until one of the last Purge movies.
That's right. You told me that, and I just still can't get over the fact that you were like, I'm going to conquer my fear of going back to the movies
by going to see the Purge. But hold on, this is the best part. Some fucking random white guy in a fucking hoodie, hood up, was sitting behind us. I was like, this is it.
How the hell do you even enjoy a movie with fucking your hood up? It like muffles everything. You're like,
I
you're not even getting the
but
full
how do I
experience.
enjoy a movie when somebody who possibly is dressed like the Joker under there is going to kill me?
But like, can you imagine? Just like, let's just no like shade. I'm not like trying to judge you harshly, but like you and I have had this conversation, so I'm gonna kind of torment you a little bit. That in your mind, you were like, all right. Obviously held a lot of fear about going back to the movies after that situation. Totally understandable. A lot of people have felt that way, not judging that part. But in your brain, you said, all right, I think I'm ready to go back to the movies. We're gonna try this again. And what movie am I gonna go see but The fucking Purge?
But hold on, Heather. I left for 10 minutes into the actual, like, the start where they do the, like, a little alarm, and waited to see if somebody fucking did something, and then came back. Did not bring the person that I was with me because I'm a piece of shit. And there it was.
Do you see this face?
Yeah, I'm
a bit of judge.
That is probably the most paranoid I've ever been about anything. And we're in the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know why that fucking anything about this is on topic of disturbing. The most disturbing things to me are mass shootings.
Yeah.
That is the most disturbing concept of life to me. Like school shooters, fucking the guy who went and shot up the post office, the guy who shot the grocery store up. I get obsessed with those things and read about them because it could happen any day and you could be unsuspecting. That's the most disturbing thing to me. What is the most disturbing thing to you?
See, I don't know. Because, like, I do agree with that. And that is something that I try not to think about because, like, it gives me so much anxiety, especially because it's so, like, it became so commonplace in society, which is, like, terrifying. So I don't know. I feel like that definitely is probably one of the scarier, like, most disturbing things to me. I feel like I don't really have it. I feel like it's that, and now I just feel like it's probably that.
Yeah, like random, like you could be, and it's a common misconception that you could be mean, or you're being mean to people, and then you deserved it, kind of thing. These people don't give a fuck if you were mean to somebody. They're just shooting people, and that scares me. You should also be afraid of flying for the wrong reasons.
No, I'm not even getting into that. This is gonna cause me severe anxiety, and I can't do it.
But why are there okay, all the disturbing movies are about, like, one person murders this person, or like an organization is murdering people, or a cult, or all that stuff.
You know what? I think this is actually one that I think was appropriate in being disturbing, which I feel like a lot of people don't agree with, and they just agree with it. Just hear me out on this. This is gonna take a turn. Human Centipede 2. And I know everybody's like over Human Centipede and they're like, meh, whatever, stupid. And then they're like, I didn't even realize there was a second one. Whatever.
Oh no, I feel like that guy, I feel like that guy getting that many people to there, probably not super realistic. That guy existing, wanting that, probably there's like 20,000 people out there like that. And
that's why, like, for me, for anybody that is obviously never going to watch these or whatever, in Human Centipede 2, they take it in the aspect of there is this very, like, odd man that, like, works as a security guard in a parking garage, and he develops a full obsession with the human centipede. And they film it in a way of, like, the Human Centipede, the first one, being a physical movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in this universe, like, this man is obsessed with this movie.
Sexually.
And he has, like, a whole scrapbook about it. He watches it every day. He has a pet centipede because he's obsessed with this whole process that this doctor in the first movie has designed.
Right.
And so he starts deciding that he wants to make his own centipede, but he's going to do it as an actual centipede. So he wants a dozen people for the amount of, like, the length of a centipede.
Which is the ridiculous part.
Definitely the ridiculous part, because there's a lot of other things, but, like, you know, he is abused by his mother. Like, he's an adult man that's living with his mother, and, like, his mother is very, like, abusive and derogatory towards him. There's a lot of, like, childhood trauma involved. There's a lot of things that, like, kind of develop this man into, like, he as a character is so uncomfortable.
He is uncomfortable.
And then, like, sitting there watching him just, like, obsess over this and being, like, sexually aroused by it and all of these different things, is what makes that movie uncomfortable, because you know that there's definitely somebody out there that obsesses like that.
Yeah.
And like that part for me was what made that movie disturbing, not anything. I mean, yeah, the whole movie is like gross, but it's outlandish in general. But his character
probably exists. It's just I don't think that his character would have orchestrated successfully
done what he does, you know.
But I think that exists. I'm sure that the dark web has plenty of those friends.
Well,
out there.
mean, yeah, think about like there was the Cannibal Cafe and everything that existed.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely people out there that are obsessed with that. Also, if you don't know what Cannibal Cafe is,
go down that rabbit hole.
If you want to go down that rabbit hole, talk about disturbing. That is the one.
But I think it's interesting that there really aren't like any movies that I can name that, unless they're like a documentary or like a movie based, like, you know, you've got the movies about 9/11, or you've got the movies about, you know, they actually don't really have like a Columbine or like a school shooting movie. Like, they don't have that.
They don't. I mean, the closest that you're gonna get is like, We Need to Talk About Kevin. You've got the actual documentary for Columbine, Bowling for Columbine, and things like that. But there are definitely topics that you don't see a lot of current movie content about, which honestly, good, because I don't think like, that there should be.
There's already news. But an interesting part of that man's series, the Dutch man that I was talking about, he has a documentary portion of it. And he talks about movies like Dear Zachary and Mommy Dead and Dearest and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, and I think he talks about...
I wonder if he's going to talk about the new one of the newer ones, speaking of like disturbing things that are happening in documentaries. I Love You Now Die, which is the one about Michelle Carter.
Oh, yeah. That's a hell of a situation. That probably definitely happens a lot.
Oh yeah, it definitely happens more, and for some reason, you know, this one got a little more publicity, which I mean, we're seeing again currently with recent situations.
I think documentaries are definitely more disturbing than some of these movies that
than like fucked up gore movies that people like, but I mean, started watching just to try to like have some like edge to them. And realistically, as I like when I was a kid, I definitely did that shit.
Yeah, oh my god, we all did that shit. But there's real actual horrors in life that aren't being talked about. I mean, but then they like the weird thing about these like lists is like they put American Mary on there, which is not a disturbing movie at all. Like they put a lot of like stupid like Texas Chainsaw Massacres on there, which is scary but not disturbing. Like I just don't. Hills Have Eyes is always on the list.
Hills Have Eyes is always on the list.
But it is I actually think it's more disturbing than the ones I just named. But
I think the reason why Hills Have Eyes definitely gets on the list a lot is because of that being rooted in something that genuinely did happen, and there wasn't a lot of content on it. And you have to think about the time frame of when that did happen. You know, in the 50s during all of these nuclear things. You know, all of this shit was happening. At the time, there wasn't any films or any like a lot going on about that. And then they were like, you know what, this is terrifying and we should make a horror movie out of it. And they definitely kind of pumped it up a little, like with the too
children
much
in it and stuff
to be way extra. But like at the core of it, you know, you had to think like, damn, there definitely were people that were living normal lives that got their shit wrecked and probably, you know, turned a little like
I saw
off the wall.
Like it's hard to get a movie that bothers you. Actually, there was one I watched recently, which is going to sound like the stupidest shit ever when I tell you that it bothered me. I don't remember what it's called. It's about this kid who is like in love with his babysitter, and it's like Christmas themed, sort of. Well, I think it's called The Night Before.
I don't jump on the Christmas movies that often, my friend.
No, but he like
Christmas themed is
he like
go to.
No, that's not what it's called. Hold on.
Take your time. While you're looking for that, the one thing I do want to point out, too, if you are someone that, like we are talking about, finds these situations very like disturbing and interesting. There's actually a band that I am a big fan of that I can't remember what country they're from, but they're called the name of the band is Skinned, Skynd.
Mm-hmm.
And all of their songs that they come out with are true crime based.
Oh wow.
Every single song is about like a different true crime case, and they do these really interesting music videos. And what I find that I like about their music videos is that they never romanticize the killer or whatever like they never romanticize it. It's always done in a way that like brings the light to the thing, but you're seeing it a lot from what the victim's point of view would be. And I'll never forget, they actually have a song for Columbine that they came out with, and the music video was one of the most uncomfortable things that I ever watched, and it's fucking heartbreaking to watch because it is in the point of view basically the entire time of just one of the high school kids that, like, you know, she's like in school, she has like a fight with her boyfriend, she's upset, she's in class, whatever, she's not feeling it, and then this happens, and you're watching it from her point of view, and it is so unkind. The whole thing's in black and white, and you never see either of the shooters' faces. And I literally love it. I love that it makes me uncomfortable. And I love that they did it because, like you said, like, you don't really see a lot of that from the other side. So like they're taking these things, they're using it for their creative purposes, which a lot of people don't like. I get it. It's not for everybody. Some people feel like romanticizing and being obsessed with true crime is like gross, but I am one of those people. I do love true crime. I find it interesting. I like to listen to it because it's just one of those things that is so shocking to see the human condition in all its different forms. And it really is, when you are obsessed with horror, you know, it's documentaries and true crime ends up being harder to watch than your run-of-the-mill just like box office horror movie.
And I think a lot of people who don't delve too far into horror and like have their moment of like, oh, like, I'm gonna watch this movie that's on this list, it probably is quite disturbing for them because they don't delve as far into it as we do. The movie that I was just talking about is called Better Watch Out, and it's this you think it's a home invasion at first, and then it, spoiler alert, turns on you, and all of a sudden it's actually this kid and his fucking like friend. The kid's like in love with the babysitter, so I guess he talked his friend into like torturing the babysitter and her boyfriend until like she relented. And like, this kid is fucking scary. Like, this kid who plays the kid, I think he may have been in another movie actually that I've recently watched. This kid plays it really well. Like, he really does. You should watch it. It's on Netflix, I believe. It's called Better Watch Out. It's a good one.
All right. Hot take on that one. This was a really heavy episode.
It was.
But I think it's important to talk about, you know, especially as people are still not going out, they're looking for different things to watch. It's the horror season, which seems kind of like out of pocket, but you know, I know a lot of people that I know, and definitely when I was a kid, you know, it was spooky season, and I was always looking for like the next thing that was actually gonna scare me or make me feel uncomfortable.
Being an edgelord.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be the first to definitely admit it. I was a huge fucking edgelord when I was younger, so it happens. Again, as always, you know, be safe, be smart, make good decisions. Now, I'm the mom friend. This doesn't seem like an episode that we should do a fuck, marry, kill on. So I'm gonna nix that one right now.
You know what though? It has been a while since we had a serious episode.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Serious episodes are super important, and with other podcasts, I think horror podcasts in particular, we talk a lot about very heavy stuff, very uncomfortable stuff, and there needs to be sometimes that moment of taking a step back and acknowledging these kinds of things. So
yeah, you get a lot of podcasts. It's like, dude bros are gonna talk about these movies and laugh about the things that happen, but then there's never really like coming back to earth.
with something like this, you have to have these coming back to Earth moments. So
yeah.
Until next time, stay spooky.
Bye.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller, a chub.
What did it mean to you to see that? Did it mean you love me?
Place to look to the past.
Fine mess you've made of things again.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.